Welcome to Dory Cote on Shamanism, a weekly podcast that explores one theme in shamanism throughout each month. Get comfortable, have a seat, and let's get started.
Welcome to the third session of this segment on visions, nightmares, dreams, and hallucinations. This week we're going to talk about dreams. Welcome, have a seat. Let's enjoy our chat together.
Dory, why do we dream when we are sleeping?
We dream when we are sleeping. I touched on this some in the other segment entitled Visions. But to say more about that, when we are sleeping, our conscious mind is put at rest. It is in a state of far less activity. That allows space for our spirit to be more in charge. Typically during our waking hours, our thinking mind and our emotions and our body are in charge of our experience from moment to moment. When we're sleeping, our body is hopefully at rest. Our conscious mind is at rest, and our emotional selves are at rest. And now our spirit is rendered the one that is, quote, in charge and up front, the number one of the experience. And so then we dream. The dream really is the experience of our spirit having its opportunity to communicate with us clearly about our desires, the direction that we might want to go in our life, the thoughts that we have had during the day and how to process those thoughts, the past experiences that our spirit has had in this lifetime while it's been in this body. All of that is what is going on. But a lot of people, from a psychological perspective and from a brain perspective, there would be people, of course, who would talk about, our dreams are about a conglomeration of recreating events that we've just had on this day or more recently that are stored in our brainwave activity. That may be true. I'm not a scientist. I don't really have expertise in that area. But where my expertise does lie is with the spirit. What I know is that regardless of whether our brain is actually participating in this process, our spirit is really the ruler of this game called the dream. And the spirit is what is giving us these messages that are gifts. As I said, in another podcast about visions, it's a gift, it's a blessing, it's a message. It's a way for us to experience the joy of our spirit, to have some playful time with our spirit, to receive deeper messages from our spirit, to unravel something that happened during the day that our brain understood in a particular way, and now our spirit is having her voice or his voice about that experience and giving it to us perhaps in a different way so that we can get the message that our spirit has about that experience or that conversation or that event in our lives. Another way to look at it, another way to experience it, another way to digest it, to understand it. So that is why we dream. It's so that our spirit has an opportunity to have a voice in our lives, whether it's through pictures or through an auditory experience, or even many of us in our dreams have sensory experiences, or a conglomeration of all of those kinds of experiences. It's our spirit talking to us, having a voice.
A listener emailed asking, I never have dreams. Why do some people have lots of dreams and some people do not have any?
He said, that it is true that there are a lot of people who report that they don't have dreams. Oh, I never have dreams. I don't even understand what it's like to have a dream. And of course, we know that everybody dreams. What is true is that our spirit does not store information in our brain the same way our thinking mind stores things during our daytime experience. So, for instance, if I cook dinner tonight, as I am going to, and I put a chicken on the grill and I grill it, and then I make a pesto sauce to have over it, and I make some quinoa, and something happens at the stove while I'm cooking dinner, and I burn something, and then that sends off the smoke detector. I'm going to be consciously aware of all of that because it's part of my waking time. What happens then is that information is stored in my brain. It's an event. When we dream, our dreams are far more like a shamanic journey than a waking experience. So, with a shamanic journey, what we know is that if we don't record the content of a journey by writing about it or speaking about it in a little digital recorder or some similar thing, then over time, and typically not a very long time, the content of that journey will be gone because it's not stored in our brain. It bypasses the thinking process. The same is true with dreams. It bypasses the thinking process. So many people wake up and they think they haven't dreamed because nothing is stored in their brain about that. What I advise people who report that kind of truth for themselves is that they can begin to train themselves to remember their dreams by doing some very simple things. For instance, if you wake up during the middle of the night, as many of us do who are over the age of 35, or even younger people, if you wake up at any moment during the night, have a little pad next to you and a pencil or a pen. And even if there's just one word in your consciousness as you get up and patter to the bathroom, write that one word down. Let's say you wake up and the word watermelon is there. Write down watermelon. You don't have to write down anything else. Just write down watermelon. And then that's there. And you can muse about it the next day like, something about watermelon in the middle of the night. Or you wake up in the morning and as you stretch and put your feet on the floor, there's a little snippet of something that is out front of you. Driving a car at 110 miles an hour. Write that down. Driving a car at 110 miles an hour. It doesn't have to make any sense. It doesn't have to be part of a big story. It just is what it is. The more you do that, the more you are going to begin to train your spirit that you are really interested in what's going on in your sleep time. And you will begin to have experiences where you will be able to hold on to this sleep journey, this sleeping journey that we call a dream. You'll be able to hold on to it for a little bit longer, long enough so that when you wake up you can record more of the dream. It won't be gone from your psyche as quickly. And write it down or record it. The more you do that, the more you will begin to train your spirit to understand, yes, I do want to remember. I want to be able to restore a little bit of what happened in that dream, that journey that happened in my sleeping time, long enough to be able to write about it. If you do that, you'll be one of those people who will be able to say, I didn't used to be able to remember my dreams, but now I can remember little snippets here and there.
Why is it important to remember our dreams?
Well, it's important to remember them because there are lessons in them. It's as simple as that. There's a reason why our spirit is digesting or redigesting something that occurred today or last week or when we were 10 years old, and is showing it to us in our sleep time. And it's our job as a spirit alive in a body and having this experience of being embodied to listen to that lesson, to explore it and work with it. So that's really the truth of why remembering, and most of us don't remember the whole dream. We only remember little snippets. It's okay, but because the snippet is what you have in the moment, and you can write it down, or you can draw it or do something with it, and just know that your spirit is creating a story for you. And so tomorrow you have another snippet, and it may not seem at all related to the snippet you had the day before. Write it down, do something with it. It will begin to create a pattern or a story for you that your spirit is trying to get across to you.
So some dreams have different intensities, and there's a type of dream called a lucid dream. Is a lucid dream when we are dreaming with multiple senses, or is that when dreams have more importance? What is a lucid dream?
A lucid dream is a lot of fun. A lucid dream is actually, as you just described, it's a dream where you have an experience of knowing that you are dreaming. And you are able to control the dream, the content, the direction, and so on. So you can ask for lucid dreams. You can train yourself to have lucid dreams. A lucid dream is far more like a journey that we intend to take, where we go, for instance, to the lower world. We connect with our power animal, and we have an intention in that journey to go explore a particular question in our lives or a question for somebody else. You direct the journey. For those of you who know how to journey, you understand that. You have an intention, you go in, and if something's happening in the journey that you don't like, you can just say, okay, thank you very much, I'm leaving here now, and you come back. Well, with a lucid dream, you can very much do the same kind of thing. You have an awareness, like you do in a journey. When you journey, it's not like you're dead. You're very aware that you're breathing. You know that you have an itch on your toe. You know that somebody's running their lawnmower 2 doors down from you. And yet at the same time, you're in this intense experience of having a vision or auditory experience with your power animal or your upper world teacher. And you're able to be multidimensional. So the same is true with a lucid dream. You have an awareness of your senses, of being in a body, and of somewhat of what's happening outside of the quote dream. And you also have the capacity to control the direction of the dream, very much like a journey. There's a whole segment we could talk about lucid dreams. This is a whole nother topic in and of itself. Books have been written about lucid dreams, and I particularly am a fan of lucid dreaming. I love it. But we don't have enough time here today to really delve into this in any great detail. Again, as I've said in the last 2 podcasts, there's another segment here that we need to explore that is completely about lucid dreaming, and I look forward to doing that.
This completes our prepared questions on dreaming. Is there anything on this subject that you would like to add?
No, thank you. I love talking about dreams, and as I just said, I also really love talking about lucid dreaming, and I look forward to being able to explore this in greater depth in a future production.
Thank you for listening to Dory Cote on Shamanism. We'd love to hear your thoughts, stories, reactions, and questions. Come on over to dorycote.com and join the conversation. And tune in next week for more on this subject, or next month for a new subject. You can subscribe to this podcast in iTunes or sign up on DoryCote.com to receive notices when the podcasts are posted. That's Dory, D-O-R-Y, and Cote, C-O-T-E.com. Drumming and rattling by Dory Cote and Terry Morgan. Technical assistance and audio production by JillHackett.com. And this is Susan Savelle, wishing you many blessings in your life. We hope to have you join us next time.